so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 no. Maybe someday you'll have it your way.
When you walk, I stumble. When you talk, I mumble. And when you smile, I have to turn away. When you shine, I'm cloudy. When you climb, I'm doubting that I won't fall before I reach the top.
맛있게 먹어.
잘 먹겠습니다.
먹읍시다. 오만이가 차려준 밥상이에요. 맛있게 드세요. 맛있겠다. 배가 고프네. 내가 제일 좋아하는 거.
소고기 먹고?
응. 왜 이렇게 눈치를 봐?
보이니까.
맛있어. 왜?
이건 뜯어먹는 건가요?
그건 약간
말다게?
육신남처럼. 근데 이거 보기가 연해서 젓가락으로 다 찢어져.
그러네. 내가?
가위 자를까?
아니야, 뭐 할게.
가위 갖고 와야겠다. 사고 칠 것 같아. 너 잘 먹잖아.
나.
Inside every mind, if you look, you will find there's a child who never grew old, who sings to the trees like nobody can see, with a fire that never went cold. He looks up to the stars and the moon and at Mars and the endless expanse of the sky. Devoid of all doubt, just a question of how to climb up to the heavens and fly. But time is advancing, adrip than a flood. He's adrift while you're stuck on the shore. And he sails away.
하나씩 게시를 해볼까? 엄청 좋다. 약간 풀꽃 냄새?
사람을